Well, I want to do a little update on silver, even though it's getting killed. I probably shouldn't do an update on it. And I was thinking about not doing too many more updates right now because it's something you don't want to be reminded of. You don't want to look at it. You know, that's one of those things. You don't want to look at it when it's down because maybe it gets you depressed. But I'm gonna actually give you a couple common sense things because, man, this major media is such a pile of BS. It's amazing. You know, they're even worse BS than pastors walking around like they're trying to help you. Remember that guy? Anyway, you know, they're talking about gold is falling into a coma, right? And I'm like saying to myself, really? You know, well, wouldn't that be the time to buy it? You know, they said that China didn't accumulate as much gold as that's the information they released anyway. They said China didn't accumulate that much gold. What they did was they had about 1,000 tons of it, metric tons, I guess that is, and now they're up to 1,600 metric tons. They expected them to be about maybe 2,000 to 4,000 metric tons, or maybe even more. But then again, China could be lying. But you know, I look at it like this. I'm thinking to myself, well, the gold market's so depressed, and China has all these U.S. dollar reserves. Wouldn't they just buy more? You know, why not? I mean, you know, it's almost like this. You know, hey, I got this video right here. I'm riding a Harley Davidson, right? Whatever the hell it is, right? Now, I know Harley Davidson's on the ropes again. I guess they're having problems. But, you know, the thing is, every time you turn around, situations, it's never in the same static situation. In other words, to give an example, stuff that people didn't want in the past or things that were dirt cheap, that people bought because it was dirt cheap. Like, in other words, an example with this bike. You know, back in the 60s, people were buying knuckleheads for like $50 because it was dirt cheap. Now they're like, you think they're gold-plated. Knucklehead motorcycle from the 40s, right? The Harley Davidson from the 40s. Now, they bought it dirt cheap because, you know, it was just cheap transportation. They just wanted something to use, right? Well, I mean, it's the same deal with anything out there. Now it's like, looks like gold lost its luster. But, you know, gold, to me, will lose its luster, or silver will lose its luster when it gets really expensive. It doesn't lose its luster when it's cheap. That's, you know, I don't know why people think that. Now, if you're a holder and you know, I'm down on it too, you know, except the only thing I'm not down on would be Palladium, I guess. I bought that really cheap. Now, I figured Palladium and Platinum would get hit the most because, and they have, because they're very industrial metals. But, you know, what's going on in the metals market is actually a precursor for what's going to happen, I think, in the general equities. You know, there's some things, there's signs that it's rolling over. It still really hasn't rolled over. I know it's below 18,000 on a Dow, but then again, there's not like absolute proof that it hasn't really rolled over yet. It hasn't dipped by more than 10% or anything like that. And you know, I'm expecting like a rollover of like 40% or maybe 50%. But you know, you never know that there could be something that is on the horizon that's going to give cover for the rollover in the general equities. Some big event. I know there's been speculation about Jade Helm, and I think it's just one of those drama. I don't know what the hell's going on with that deal. But, you know, if I actually thought something was legit with Jade Helm, like, you know, for some catastrophic problem or something, the only thing I could think of that would be it would be a major quake in coastal California, because that was the, you know, the stories that were put out by FEMA. But, you know, if something like that happened, if you had a major 9.0 quake in Northern California and, you know, the tech sector and there was a tidal wave and all this other garbage, I could tell you right now the stock markets would crash like a mofo, man. And that would be the perfect cover because actually they can blame it on, you know, a natural disaster event. But then again, it may not have been a natural disaster event. It was just the thing that did it, you know, the thing that they're just, in other words, I think the markets are being propped up by electronic trading. There's a limit to how long they can do it. There's going to have to be an event that's going to be used as an excuse why the markets come down. Now, that's pure speculation on my part about, you know, big-ass earthquake in California, because I know they talk about it 70 years overdue, But then again, it could be 5 years from now, 10 years from now, or 15 years from now. Why would it happen real soon, you know? But then again, I don't know, because maybe that is really why all this Jade Helm stuff is going on. I don't know, okay? But one thing I do sense that I think is going to be a correct assumption, whether it be an earthquake or something really extraordinary that happens, I think the powers that be are actually waiting for an event that can be used as a cover to basically flip the switch basically on the markets where they come back down. They come back down because I think everything in the markets right now is artificial. I mean, even Warren Buffett's saying it. I know I don't like the guy. I don't like Soros. Actually, I'm going to repeat again. I knew Soros has huge bearish bets on the markets. If they don't come down sometime by late 2015, he's losing 16% of his net wealth. He's already been losing out on some of those bets, but he hasn't really lost out on the majority of them until the end of 2015. And I'm talking about a major collapse in the S&P, and which would be the Dow also. Now, the tech market's been showing some kind of problems too. Now, I know when you're looking at like silver and things like that, but I'm going to tell you that usually when you got the metals doing this kind of depressing scenario where things are just dipping, it's a precursor for the other markets. And I know the Fed doesn't really give a damn about the metals prices. It's not something that they say we got to prop up the metals prices to keep the silver holders happy. No, they don't do that type of stuff. I mean, I wish they would, but that'd be great. But the thing is, when the metals prices are this depressed, that's a reflection of what's going on in real industry. It's not just in the United States, it's in China. Actually, the forecast for China over the next 10 years will look bad, according to some of the Western analysts. I don't know if that's really going to play out. Actually, the forecast for China over the next 10 years is that China is going to split up and break apart into mini Chinas, which may be too. It's also, they got forecasts for Russia that Russia's going to split up too. I don't know. But they can tell you that, on the alternative media, they make it sound like the U.S. is going to danger splitting up. I don't think so. I know we got the rebel flag, the Confederate flag, or the Southern flag, whatever you want to call it, or Southern Cross or whatever. But, I mean, that's just like a regional cultural thing. Everybody in the South is all freaking pro-USA, and nobody's looking to revolt against the United States unless it's against draconian laws specifically, but nobody's looking to actually be their own country, I can tell you that right now. And even the stuff, you got, secessionist movement in Texas, a lot of that's being backed up by Russia itself. It's not really a serious movement the way, it's being portrayed in the alternative media, I can tell you that right now. It's not the facts at all. But, when it's telling you gold loses its luster or whatever the hell it is, I mean, get the hell out of here. It's almost like, I wish it was like the situation back in the 60s and stuff where you could buy a Harley Knucklehead for about $50, man. I'd buy a few of them right now, you know what I mean? But, I might accumulate a little more silver. I was looking at online, I said, the thing is, I'm not a person that always said put all your money into silver, but I was looking online, I said, what the heck's available now? Because I don't want anything that's some weird coin that might be good, but then again, I don't want any weird coin that, somebody's going to look at, what the hell mint is this place from, But I was mainly looking at, like, USA, Canada, European Philharmonicas or something like that is very close to spot price, and I might go with the Canada money. I don't care what it has on it. I know the Cougars are going up. They're still going. They got a premium on them, which I guess that was smart buying some of those Cougars. But I might get someone with a bird on it or something. I don't know. But I'm not a person that just constantly says I got to put everything into silver. I can actually say to myself, there's a lot of the things you should put money into, and that is food, fire, power, and fuel. But the way things are going, the situation in Washington and stuff with Obama's last year in office or so. I guess he's got about a little over a year left now, less than a year and a half. He's going to go balls to the wall on restricting all your rights. And, and I think, to tell you the truth, you're going to have all the silver in the world. And, you could be sitting on tons of it, and it could say it was worth hundreds of dollars an ounce. It ain't going to do you no damn good if we have all the freedoms restricted in the United States. I can tell you that right now. That's, to me, is the number one thing. Actually, recently, I've been looking up a lot of stuff online about my family genealogy and stuff. I was looking back to the American Revolution on one side, and I was looking up to the Italian side. I ordered some stuff on that. I don't know if you saw that video, but it was a video I was doing about In Search of the Duke. I got on the Italian side. The guy was in England, in UK, in London. He was an illegitimate son of a duke, but he lost out on it because they had a big shake-up when Queen Victoria died. I'm going to find out what the hell that guy's name, if I get that damn piece of paper or not. But I've been working on a lot on that stuff because I was curious as all hell. And information's hard to find, I tell you, man. But, that's one of the things. People always are looking for information, but common sense goes a long way. It's almost like when something's cheap, people, well, that's exactly the way it even works in business. If somebody goes out there and says our billing rate is $200 an hour, the people automatically, and you got the nice shiny suits on and smile and all that, the people automatically think, oh wow, this must be some high-end stuff. But if you went out there and you says, I'm going to charge you $20 an hour, they think you're getting garbage. So it's sometimes, that's really how a lot of things are sometimes. A lot of people they look at the price and they think, since the price is higher, it's worth more. But what I always look at is the big key word called value. Is silver value right now? Yeah, it sure is. Even though it was like, if you bought it last year and it was, 20-something bucks or $18, or you bought it at $30 or whatever or more, you'd say to yourself, well, it went down, but is it a value now? How low can low go? I don't really know, but I'm thinking, I think I know what the deal is, because once there is the market crash, they're going to have to go balls to the wall with, QE or stimulus, bailouts, the whole 9 yards. And I think it will create a panic into some of the money where there's a market crash. Some money, it's not going to just go into cash, but some money is going to go into hard assets like silver, gold, oil, platinum, palladium, maybe even real estate or whatever else. But, the precious metals are a lot more liquid than real estate, and there's a hell of a lot less problems with managing precious metals than there is with real estate, believe me. So it could be that, I am guessing, I'll tell you that right now, but, well, it's not totally guessing, because, a good predecessor, anytime the markets have done this kind of action in the beginning of the year, or it's so many weeks after the beginning of the year, they dropped, it's always foreshadowed a bigger, further drop. And, we're on a 7-year cycle again. I don't want to actually put out a lot of videos now when silver's way down, because of, I don't want people to sell out though, but I don't want people looking at the price too much right now. And I realize that, if you look at the price too much right now, you're getting depressed and all this kind of garbage. But, it's almost like the value that you are holding right now is, it's a lot more solid than it was before. It's a lot more risky. It's counterintuitive. But say silver does go well past $50, say it goes to $150, that's when it's really risky, and that's when you should unload it for paper and take that paper and buy some other hard asset with it. It's when things are looking bad and you're looking like, oh, this has been going down, that's actually the time when it's more solid. There's a limit to how low can go. And with the stock market and with U.S. government debt, there's no limit to how low can go. But with hard assets, there is a limit to how low can go. They could deride gold all they want, but with silver, It's just used too much in too many different industries. It's not like it's just some metal that's out there that we don't need. What we really don't need is fluff. We don't need a lot of entertainment. We don't need iPhones. We don't need special gizmos. We don't need Google cars. We don't need any of that kind of shit. You know what I mean? We don't need anything fancy, to tell you the truth. We just need the actual hardcore elements that are the most important. So, and one of those elements is definitely silver. So when I'm talking about this type of stuff, it's not like I'm going to be able to say, yeah, silver's going to go up to exactly this amount of money so much in the future. But I think when it does start to take off, it's going to surprise you. Just like it's been surprising people in the wrong way for the last couple of years, it's probably going to surprise people where they're thinking it's going too damn high, and it's going to go higher than it should. And actually, at that time, that's when it's risky. But not if you had it at this price. Not if you had it at this price. And I can imagine what the hell China is going to be doing. And, I don't even know if that number's right when they say they have 1,600 tons of metric gold. That's what they released. I don't even know if that number's right. They could be lying their ass off. They always lie their ass off. But the thing is, if that's the situation and they only have 1,600 metric tons of gold, well, why don't they just take all their trillions of dollars of cash reserves in dollars and whatever the hell they have in billions of dollars, just buy up lots of gold at this ridiculously low prices? Why don't they do it? Why? Because they're afraid they're going to upset the market? Why? Because gold isn't worth anything? Yeah, tell me another one, man. Tell me another one. I think this is all freaking electronic manipulation to the max, and it's not going to be a situation that's going to last. These guys in the suits, they want to make you think that, they own the world by freaking just cute talk, and because they got a suit on and they got the crayons and they fill out the funny numbers and shit like that. But when it comes down to it, most of them can't do a damn thing. Now I'm going to tell you one thing. I've been slowing down and doing a lot of car videos here, basically in the Florida, because this is the time of the year it's rainy, but we've been having record rains here in Florida. And I'm going to tell you right now, it's beyond ridiculous. It reminds me of Southeast Pacific or something, the way things are. But, that's the situation, man. There's always cycles. Sometimes the markets are like that, and, the weather's like that, and a lot of things are like that. So you really can't freaking emphasize too much that, the situation's a certain way, and it's going to stay that way. But, there has been a lot of rain down here in Florida, man. This is the rainy season as it is, and I can tell you right now, it's been beyond normal. It's been record raining for even a rainy season. So, but, you can think of it the same way with the silver and gold markets. So, just hang tough, and it will change.